The Health Fix podcast teaches you how to take charge of your health naturally by giving you the information you need to elevate your health.
Hello there, health junkies. Welcome to another episode of The Health Fix. I'm your host, Dr. Janine Krause. In today's episode, I'm going to be doing the third in a series of why you're not losing weight and what you can do about it. Today, I'm going to be taking things to the last level, kind of putting everything together. We've talked about microbes, we talked about things you need to investigate, track, etc., to make sure that you are on point for losing weight. Now, the last thing is really putting it all together with your routines, your habits, and looking at how are you working out if you are indeed working out, and making sure that you're not falling victim to all of those HIIT workouts online that tell you you're going to burn 500 to 1,000 calories in one session, and life is going to be so amazing after that. Sadly, that's not the case. And if you are working out and doing 2-a-days even, and you're like, what gives? I'm not losing weight. We've got to talk. And this podcast is just for you. So let's jump in and talk a little bit about the concept of how psychoneuroimmunology plays into weight and weight gain and the ability to the inability, let's say rather, to not lose weight. So what is this here? Psychoneuroimmunology. In my last podcast, I talked a whole bunch about how your mindset and how you think actually has an effect on your weight. It also has an effect on your fight or flight nervous system, aka your vagus nerve, that is in control of everything. And that vagus nerve is in control of inflammation within your body. So if you're noticing that you're having trouble losing weight and you're also finding you're more and more sensitive to certain foods, you end up getting hives and rashes and things much easier, what we're seeing is a manifestation of how your immune system is being affected by the stress. Now, of course, you can have outside stress and little t's and big T's being your trauma levels, but you can also be your own worst enemy when it comes to weight loss and weight issues. So this is that connection between what's going on upstairs, what's going on with your nerves, and what happens with your immune system. Now, why does it affect your gut? Well, your gut's kind of your first brain, right? So if you have a ton of your fight or flight nerves all around your gut, known as the enteric nervous system, these guys are definitely going to feel the effects of the stress that you put on yourself with trying to lose weight and the things that you say to yourself around why you can't lose weight. So the issue is really helping you to not become your worst enemy and helping you to not sabotage your weight loss and helping you to kind of balance out what's going on with the psychoneuroimmunological system that you've got within your body. So how do we do this? Well, first and foremost, we have to look at our days. We really have to take a hard look at, are we happy with how each and every day of our life goes? Or are we just feeling like from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, it's a struggle. It's a grind. You're not excited to wake up. Well, of course, if you're not excited to wake up and you don't have things to look forward to, of course you're not going to want to jump out of bed and be extremely thrilled to get your day started. Of course not. Think about it. If every day is a big trauma repeat, kind of like Groundhog Day, do you really want to keep repeating that? No, of course your body's going to tell you you're exhausted. The body's going to be like, no, I don't want to get out of bed. Heck no, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to do anything that's related to the life that you live. So it's really important to look at your days and your habits and go, okay, what can I do to have a resemblance of the best day ever every day? What feels luxurious? What feels good? Because I think a lot of us deny ourselves of really simple things that we could be doing on a daily basis to feel better. Or even just to feel taken care of, to feel like the day is luxurious. Let me give you an example. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you see? Do you see clutter in your bedroom? Do you have piles of clothes on your dresser? If that's what you see, of course it's going to be hard to have a good day because you're going to be frustrated at what you're looking at. It's going to stress you out. So first and foremost, you want to look at your environment in which you sleep. so that when you wake up, you want to wake up. It's cozy. Maybe you have cozy pillows. Maybe you have beautiful pictures from somewhere you would love to wake up permanently. Above my bed, I have a picture of the beach. It's like a wave coming across the sand. And I love to roll over and look at it and imagine that I'm there. Because realistically, no, I can't live at the beach as much as I'd like to. Right now, it's not in the cards. But thinking about how you can put yourself into that environment. I mean, how do you want the area to smell? Perhaps you have some essential oils that you put on your pillow. And so when you wake up, that's what you smell. Or you have a diffuser on a timer and it's helping you to wake up with good smells in the morning. I also have a happy light that helps me wake up in the morning. It's huge. It's crucial, especially if you live in a darker area when you wake up in the morning. So for example, like the Pacific Northwest, it can be really dark in the morning. Even in San Diego, you've got that marine layer. So thinking about your environment and what it's like when you wake up in the morning, if you want to wake up and it's bright and sunny and the birds are chirping, okay, what can you do to give yourself something close to that? Maybe you have your alarm clock, just birds chirping. I know that's a possibility. We have that on our alarm at home. But also bright, sunny, getting exposed to that sunlight in the morning can really help you wake up, but it can also energize you for the day. We are still cavemen. We respond to darkness. We respond to light. And this is something that you want to think about. Does that feel luxurious to you to have the sun kind of come up and wake you up in the morning? If that's the case, then get a happy light that you can put on your nightstand that you can have it on a timer to wake you up naturally with the brighter light. Now, if you're like, that does not sound like my jam. Okay, let's think about what can get you energized and excited about starting your day. Maybe it's a new coffee mug. I know for a lot of people, it's like a happy coffee mug and some happy coffee. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's, cordyceps coffee. Maybe it's something of that nature. And when I say cordyceps coffee, that's the mushroom substitute for drinking coffee. Now, caffeine, of course, pushes the adrenal glands and can be a problem, especially if you know that your saliva cortisol is off the charts in the morning. So definitely take heed to that. But the point here is thinking about your day. What's realistic for you to just add into your morning that would have you jumping out of bed and looking forward to the morning? For me, it's my happy light, but it's also having time in the morning so I can get my day started. I can have a sip of tea. I can think about what I'm going to do that day. Then I roll into my workout. Then I roll into a walk with the dog. That I've set in that place, and it's a non-negotiable because I want that luxurious feeling of a slow start to my morning. If I have a rush start to my morning, I am rushed and feeling on edge the rest of the day. What do you think my cortisol is going to be doing? It's pumping and pumping. And so I'm really going to be telling my body that there's something chasing me. What do you think is going to happen to my weight? It's going to stay on because my body feels extremely stressed. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. So thinking about what would be that best day ever, what would be that best morning ever, how does this look? How does that play out for you? This is something that I highly recommend you take a look at first. How do you want your morning to look and feel and smell even? And what's realistic? What could you change right now? What is one thing you could do that would have you jumping out of bed or at least a little excited to get out of bed and start your day? All right. Think about it and write it down. We're going to jump into the next thing in just a few seconds. Okay, I hope you took a couple seconds to think about how you could enhance your morning so it feels luxurious, but also how you can wake up and feel like, hey, I just want to jump out of bed and get this darn day started because I can't wait. So you might be thinking I'm a little cheesy, but hey, this is what you want to start working with. Because yeah, I thought when I first heard these concepts, it was cheesy too, but honestly, it does work. It really does. So give it a try. So that's your morning. Now, the next part of your day is kind of looking like what triggers you to pick yourself apart? What triggers you to go downhill during the day about your weight, about you, about your life in general, wherever you take yourself. Because sometimes I can look at a mirror and I could be like, ooh, I look hot. Or other times I'll look at that mirror and I'll be like, ugh, what the heck? And I'll pinch, my muffin top. And it just kind of goes from a downward spiral there. And before I didn't understand how I could go from completely being fine looking at myself in the mirror to other times going completely down this downward spiral. So what I want you to do is really take a look throughout the day. Where are you finding triggers that start you to mess with your weight? Is it something someone says? Is it something that someone does? Is it something that you notice, like a mirror or something of that nature? What is your trigger? Is it an Instagram thing? Is it a Facebook thing? Is it whatever it is? I want you to look at it and I want you to write it down when in the day that happens. Because these triggers are connected to your stress levels. They're connected to when you're fatigued. They're connected to when you're not getting your needs met. Let me give you a little example. I gave you the one about the mirror. And when I look at the times between I can look in the mirror and I'm fine and the times I look in the mirror and I start to pick myself apart, what is happening in that moment is usually that I am tired because I haven't given myself a break that day. I haven't taken care of myself. Most of the time, our biggest stress is that we are not getting our needs met. When we don't get our needs met, we act out on ourselves or others in kind of crazy ways. Part of the needs met is hydration. Part of the needs getting met is eating on a regular basis. Because one of my triggers, if I skip a meal, my brain is instantly going to be like, well, you didn't eat before, so guess what, girl, it's on. Let's eat. Let's do the darn thing. And I can put away a lot of food. I have impressed many people about how much I can eat for how short and stocky I am. It's like I have a hollow leg. It's impressive. But is that doing me any good? Absolutely not. And while I might be able to justify that I skipped lunch or I skipped breakfast or I've been fasting all day so I can eat more, later it's ultimately a stressor to my body. And so this is where sometimes fasting, if you don't have your mind right, can be a problem because you can tell yourself, oh, I didn't eat earlier, so I can eat more now. And usually that more ends up being more than what you would have ate normally in that day. So thinking about how to balance the blood sugar, thinking about how to eat regularly throughout the day, getting your needs met. Another big need not being met where that brain can go south is not feeling loved, not feeling cared for. If you're in the industry like me, you give a lot to others. And sometimes you don't give as much to yourself. And your body revolts back at that. And then you start to basically beat yourself up. I'm not smart enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. Why would anybody love me? Of course I'm fat and disgusting and things of that nature. These voices are real. And I've said every single one of those things before. If my 43-year-old self that's saying this right now could turn around and tell my 16-year-old self a little bit, oh my goodness, where would I be now? Think about it. What could you achieve if you weren't stuck focused on your weight all this time? Lots of things. So during the day, I want you to really look at what your triggers are to beat yourself up. And what your triggers are about pinching, poking, all of the things. And you might be thinking, well, I just do that all the time. Pay attention. Are you dehydrated? Did you not get a hug from your husband, your significant other, whoever, wife, etc.? Did you not get your needs met? I know I say that over and over again, but really I want you to catalog your needs and your reactions to when you don't get them met. You will be shocked how much you beat yourself up when you didn't get your need met. And you beat yourself up in the way of self-negative talk and things of that nature. I've been there. I've done a lot of them. I could probably do a whole podcast on the negative crap that I've said to myself when I'm either tired because I didn't get a break during the day, mentally fatigued because I didn't get a break from the day, skipped lunch, I didn't drink enough water, you name it. Didn't get enough love, didn't get acknowledgement from my husband, from, even my dog some days. It's weird. But you'll see. Connect these. Work on connecting the dots. Spend a few moments doing that. Maybe hit pause right now. The next thing we're going to go over is talking about how you end your day. Because for some people, they're great during the day. There's no triggers during the day. The trigger is when you get home from work. Maybe because you're not getting your needs met at home. Maybe because you're not getting your needs met in terms of hard stop on work. That's a real thing. That is a huge thing. I have had to really put myself in check on that. Because I could easily work from the morning I wake up, or from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. I love work. But it's not good for your health and it's not good for your weight. And here's why. If you don't know when that hard stop is, your brain can't distinguish between stressor of work and stressor from life. Now, for some of you, you might be like, work's not my issue. Home's my issue. And this is a big factor for a lot of women, including myself. Not getting your needs met at home. Why do people get divorces? It's because a lot of the two parties involved do not speak their needs and what they need to feel loved and validated. I highly recommend, if you're struggling with your weight, find out what your love language is. I will put the link in my podcast notes at drjkrausend.com for you to find out what your love language is, but also for your significant other too as well. Because chances are, if you're not getting your needs met and you're taking it out on yourself, saying, I'm not lovable, they don't want me because I'm fat, this, that, and the other. If you're going down that route, this is where you definitely want to find out your love language so you can start to communicate better. I swear just that alone has saved a lot of marriages. And the reason I'm talking about this, in relationships too, but the reason I'm talking about this is because it has a huge impact on your weight. And your evening routine is huge for the impact on your weight. If you're not feeling loved, you're not getting your needs met, your body's going to protect you. How's it going to protect you from that stress? It's going to put weight on. Having a layer of weight protects you. It protects you from that long journey of stress that your body thinks you have to travel to get through. It's a protective mechanism. So what is your body protecting you from? Think about that. Now, the next thing about the evening is having a luxurious wind down routine. Just like the morning, looking forward to going to bed, looking forward to winding down from the day. What could you realistically add? Could you do a bath a couple nights a week? Put some Epsom salts and essential oils in there. What about a great little alone time lotion session? Now, you could take that any way you want, but like just straight up regular old lotion. Or maybe you don't want to do a bath, but you want to put some magnesium on. You could put some magnesium behind your ears and on your neck. Amazing for bedtime routine. Maybe you have pain. This is a great time to do a 3-minute hot, 30-second cold, 3-round contrast hydrotherapy bath. And this is not even a get in the bath. This is a contrast hydrotherapy session to wherever it hurts. That kind of stuff is amazing for helping with circulation. Because the more stressed you are, the less circulation you get to areas of pain. I love to do 3-minute hot, 30-second cold sessions in wherever's aching on me. It feels good and it's kind of luxurious because you're taking care of yourself. So the point is, what can you do to take care of yourself in that wind down routine? Is it a nice walk around the block? Is it something of that nature? What about, even having a cozy up session with your favorite chair and a book? Or what about really reconnecting with your partner? What about snuggling up with the dog or cat? These are things that are luxurious that a lot of us just kind of put off because either we keep working or we dive into these TV shows or just start scrolling online and looking at stuff that's triggering to us. Look at your evening. Assess it. Where are you having triggers in the evening that get you going down a negative mindset pathway? The other big thing is energy vampires in your life. Do you have friends or family or significant others that suck the life out of you? I had a real big wake-up call when my husband told me, he's like, your attitude brings me down and I don't want to be around you sometimes. That's great honesty. Love him for that. And it was a real big wake-up call for me to be like, oh my God, I'm taking my stress and bringing that energy to the house and putting it on him when I thought it was just me in my own little world of self-hatred and pity party. So these are things to think about. Are you the energy vampire, or are you being subjected to certain folks who are energy vampires? Big deal. Make sure you take a note of this and figure out where can you change these things. The other big thing throughout the day is really looking at what triggers you to be negative to yourself, or what triggers you to stress eat, what triggers you to overeat, what triggers you to do any of the behaviors that are not healthy for you. What triggers it, and what is your exact response? Are you fatigued? Did you forget to eat? Did you just get angry about something? Were you frustrated? And did you stuff down your emotions? Are you trembling from the inside out? Is that a response that you get when you get really amped up? These are things to really get connected to. What is your stress? How does it present? And what's your behavior after it? This will help you with the weight. Sounds completely weird, but it is a thing. It took me over a decade to figure this out, that it really is a thing. So one of the best things that we can do for our body to mitigate stress is to actually exercise. And I'm not meaning like push yourself to the limits exercise. Like I mentioned before, I'm not a fan of HIIT exercises. I actually would like to take every single one of the people online who promote these ad nauseum about how many thousands of calories you're going to burn in your sweat fest and all of that, and really sit them down and be like, do you know what's going to happen to you when you're in your 40s? This isn't going to work out. This isn't sustainable. Because you'll notice there's not many 40 plus people doing HIIT workouts and posting it on the internet. Why? Because we're damn tired by the end of those. And then we can't do it the next day because we hurt. Anybody feeling that? If you are, raise your hand, send a comment. I'd like to hear about that. Because we live stressful lives. Stress compounds. If you keep doing HIIT workouts day in and freaking day out, what do you think is going to happen to your body? You're stressing it out. You're not able to recover from a HIIT workout day in, day out. It's impossible. And then what happens? The weight stays on. So all of you out there who actually are doing 2-a-day workouts, cutting calories, this is for you. You want to listen to this. Those of you who don't exercise on a daily basis, this is good too. Because I think for a lot of us, when we haven't exercised for a while, we will follow what's ever happening on Instagram and go, okay, I'm going to do that workout. And then wonder why we're trash for like 4 days after it. This is why. You need to be watching your conditioning. Conditioning is cardiovascular based, and it's the one thing that we can improve as we get older. Yes, it can improve. While other things do tend to slow down and we have to adjust it, we can improve our cardiovascular strength and conditioning as we get older. And the way to do it is to watch your heart rate. First things first, you got to know what your baseline heart rate is. So before you even get out of bed, get a reading on your heart rate. Look at your Apple Watch. Go old school, find a watch that has a second hand and count how many beats per a quarter hour. So 15 seconds. In those 15 seconds, how many times does your heart beat? Multiply it by 4. That's your heart rate. Old school style. Do this for a week and get your average. Once you know your average heart rate, now you can move into working with conditioning training to help you to manage stress more effectively and manage stress more effectively as you get older, to help improve your conditioning. The better you are at controlling your heart rate, the better you are at controlling stress. And your body will naturally do it because you've trained it, just like you've trained it to lift weights, just like you've trained it to do any sport, or just like you've trained it to not do anything. You can untrain yourself from sedentary habits. You can train yourself to be more mobile. So here's the thing with conditioning workouts. You want to set a rhythm to them. So for example, Mondays, this is going to be what I call a stimulation day. You're going to stimulate your body to move because ideally I take Sundays off. That's kind of what most people do. So you take a Sunday off and Monday you stimulate your body to move. You do an exercise routine that moves every single part of your body. You can walk and move every single part of your body. Swing your arms. Just get in the groove. Nice, chill workout. You can do Tai Chi. You can do different things that open up the motion of your body. You can do the Peloton and get your arms moving. Keep your heart rate between 130 and 140. Breathe to keep it in there. For some of you, it might be harder to do than others. And the idea is doing this for about an hour. 75 minutes, like an hour and 15 on the high end. That's your stimulation day. Then the next day, you can go into what's called a development day. So if you do really love those HIIT workouts, this would be your day to do it. One day, not 6 days a week. This is where the heart rate goes up. You're getting into the 140 to 170 range, depending on how old you are. If you're in your 40s and above, you want to be keeping around 165-ish, not pushing too much into the 170s. If you're younger, you can push a little bit harder. But this is a 40 to 60 minute workout where you're using all of your body, but you're keeping your heart rate in the 140 to 160 range. That's your development day. That's the day where you push a little bit. Then, to follow the development day so that you recover more effectively, you go into a rebound day. This is kind of active recovery, 120 to 130 heart rate. Keep it in that range, 20 to 30 minutes. Make sure you move your whole body, so this would be a slow cycle. So if you're going to be on a bike, you're just going to go spin. If you're going to walk, you're going to watch your heart rate with that. If you're going to do like a rowing machine, whatever it may be, you could do lifting in this day. You're just not getting that heart rate out of that 120, 130 heart rate zone. Then following this would be a recovery day, and then repeat. Or if you are someone who's a little bit more physically fit, you've been pushing it for a while, maybe you're a former athlete, maybe you're a current athlete and struggling to get some extra weight off, what you want to do is you want to repeat stimulation day on day 4. Then go to development day. So you have 2 development days. I still recommend only 1 day of HIIT exercise, but you have 2 development days, a rebound day, and then you have a day off, which is Sunday. Now, if this sounds like jibbery jabberish to you and you didn't get notes, don't worry. It's going to be in my podcast notes at drjkrausend.com. I have a downloadable PDF about working out so that you don't burn yourself out. Why is this so important? Because I see way too many females who have spent most of their life being physically active, or maybe they were former athletes, and all of a sudden the tricks of 2-a-days and cutting calories doesn't work to get the weight off. That is a huge sign that your body is stressed and not recovering. And so the cardiovascular conditioning training is absolutely key to help you to get yourself back on point and not wear yourself out from your exercises. And at the same time, like I said before, it's helping you to improve your cardiovascular conditioning. And this is something that can improve with age. Who doesn't want something that improves with age? So this is huge, because the more you can control your heart rate, the more that you are training your body to control the heart rate under stressful situations. So that's how it ties back into helping with stress, but it also ties back into helping you with weight loss, because the more that you can control your heart rate, the more that your brain and your body knows there's no threat. It's okay. Now, last but not least, and actually probably the most freaking important thing that I have to say about exercise and helping you to exercise effectively and not wear yourself out is to do parasympathetic breathing after your exercise. How do you do this? It's 5 minutes laying on your back with your knees up and your legs up, your hips are in a 90 and your knees are in a 90 with your legs, your lower legs on a chair, on an ottoman, whatever you can do to put them up. What that does is it signals to your body that the stressor is over, that the workout is over and all is good. This is huge because so many people get done with their workout and then boom, they're out. They're not even like taking time to pay attention to what's going on. They're just like, boom, I'm out to the next thing. What do you think that tells your body? That tells your body that the stress continues from the workout. And so the rest of your day, you're in stress mode and you're going to be putting on weight and you're going to be in catabolic mode, meaning you're breaking down muscle and you're gaining fat, you're storing fat. So you got to tell your body when you're done with your workout every single time. And that's via positional parasympathetic breathing. This is a game changer for me to get me back from being quite tanked after trying to run a bajillion marathons. And then after that, just go into a crazy routine of trying to keep up with all the professional athletes in Colorado. And I couldn't do it. Why? Because I was already stressed. I had multiple jobs I was dealing with. And then I tried to cut calories and do 2-a-days. Doesn't work out. And so if you're doing that right now, I'm speaking to you. Stop stressing your body. You can lose the weight. You have to work on controlling stress. And conditioning training works really well to help you with that. Now, I have a buddy who has courses on conditioning training. His name is Joel Jamieson. His website's 8 Weeks Out. If you want more information on conditioning training and recovery, head over to his website. He's got a great site and a lot of great information. In fact, he's got a whole course based on recovery from athletic sports and events and how to recover effectively, and it's called Recover to Win. So head over to 8weeksout.com and you can get all the information over there on his stuff. I have his certification from Bioforce Conditioning, so that's why I'm talking about the conditioning here in terms of conditioning training. But point being is that if you're struggling to lose weight, chances are if you're physically active and you're trying to do two-a-days and things of that nature, you're pushing yourself too hard. You need to slow down. And those of you who aren't moving, okay, let's get you moving, because it is important to manage stress through movement. You don't have to start running marathons. You don't have to start doing couch to 5Ks. Walking works. Walking and varying your heart rate is an absolutely huge. And working around the house and getting the heart rate up, you can do this as well. The development day for those of you who are newbies might be a little bit more difficult because you're going to push your heart rate a little bit more. This might include if you're able to jump plyometric type exercises, things of that nature. If you look back through my Instagram, you will see different exercises you can try to see if you can get your heart rate back up. But point being here is don't push yourself every single day with the max heart rate. It does not do any good for you. If you have an Apple Watch, if you have an Oura Ring, if you have something like the Morpheus, which is a type of watch that connects to a app that tells you how recovered you are from your workouts, these things are game changers. So I do recommend checking out heart rate variability devices that you can watch your heart rate more effectively, more than just what's going on with the Apple Watch, especially for those of you who are athletes or who are really training for something. If you're training for a marathon, you're training for a triathlon, a biathlon, whatever it may be, these are things to pay attention to. You want to know how your recovery is going. You want to know what's going on with your heart rate variability. And the same guy I mentioned, Joel Jamieson, has a app called the Morpheus app, along with a band that can look at what's going on with your heart rate. Garmin does too. Polar is another chest strap type of band that's really great for gauging what's going on. The Oura Ring is really specific for sleep, but it does tell you how well you're recovering at night. And so these are crucial things to be looking at in terms of exercising to help with weight loss and recovery. Another big thing that I mentioned before, and I'm going to mention it again, is sleep. If you're not sleeping, you can't expect to lose weight. You need to be sleeping at least 7 to 8 hours a night. And I know there's other people that'll say that those you can sleep 4 or 5 hours. No, it doesn't work that way. You need sleep. You absolutely need sleep. And with sleep and having troubles with sleep, I highly recommend, if you're having troubles with sleep, get a sleep study. You can do home sleep studies. Ask your doc for one. These are crucial to knowing what is going on overnight. Because if you are not sleeping well, you're going to have trouble losing weight too. So in addition to everything I've mentioned here, that's another crucial factor. And for those of you who do exercise, you might notice on days that you push it pretty hard, you might have trouble sleeping. That's because your cortisol's up all day because you didn't tell yourself that the workout was over. So back to the positional parasympathetic breathing. Okay, so I know I've went through a lot. Let's sum it up here in terms of the exercise component. You want to make sure you have an idea what your baseline heart rate is, and you also want to be able to monitor your heart rate during workouts. So you know that you're getting into a good zone to help with conditioning of your cardiovascular system, because it helps your body to know what's a stressor, what's not, and how to bring the heart rate down naturally when we get stressed out so that the body doesn't think it's on this perpetual journey of stress. Also, after every workout, positional parasympathetic breathing. Breathe down that heart rate, really chill so that you can send that signal to your brain the workout is over. I will put the template for the workouts in drjkrausend.com. The heart rates at this point are the most crucial components. If you want more information on how to build out a program for workouts, I'm more than happy to help you with that. Hit me up at drjkrausend.com. In my info session there's a info at email that'll come to me. So that's something that I'm happy to help folks with, kind of thinking and troubleshooting out that. If you want programming, there's plenty of folks that can help you with that too. I can guide you that direction. Now, before I sign off, I want you to be thinking about your routines, because really routines, habits, behaviors, this is at the crux of what is sending signals to your brain that you're stressed and that there's something to be worried about. There's something to protect you from. So really look at what can you do throughout your day to help you feel like that day is great, it's chill, it's luxurious to you. Little things. What can you change that you think, oh, that sounds nice, but you're like, wait, I actually can do that. Add it in. Assess all your stressors. Find out where you're getting stressed throughout the day and what is it? Is it not getting a need met? What's the deal? What's triggering you? Is it an energy vampire? Are you the energy vampire? Let's work through that and help to change your habits and routines so that you can prevent these triggers from being big deals. Get your needs met. That is the takeaway. If nothing else, you've listened to this whole podcast and you're like, okay, what do I do? Look at your stressors. Find out when you're not getting your needs met. Find out what it is that the needs that you need to have met and create your day around it. You can do this. You're in control of your day. I know a lot of people think they're not, but you are. You are in control of your thoughts. You're in control of what happens to you. Life is actually not happening to you. You are interacting with it. So keeping in mind, you are in control. You're in control of your routines. You're in control of your habits. You're in control of your exercises. You're in control of your breath work to help your heart rate as you improve your conditioning. So, moral of the story, get your needs met because you are in control. All right, everybody. This is the final episode in my 3-part series on what to do when you can't lose weight. I hope it's been helpful for you. I'd love to hear comments, feedback. If you want to know any more details, well, stay tuned. I probably will be coming out with more stuff. I know that one of the big things that folks have expressed to me about weight loss and obstacles has to do with nutrition and what to eat when. So that is going to be coming up soon here on the horizon. So stay tuned. You have survived another episode of The Health Fix. I'm your host, Dr. Janine Krause. You have a great day, whatever you're doing. And if you need some extra help and you want to continue the conversation, head over to my Facebook group at Find Your Health Fix on Facebook, and we will get you dialed in and ready to go for your next steps in life. All right. Have a great day. Hey, health junkies, I hope you enjoyed my podcast. If you want to continue the conversation based on what topic I'm talking about at any given time on the Health Fix podcast, head over to my Facebook group, Find Your Health Fix. It's where we are talking about what's going on in health, what I'm talking about in the podcast, and I love to answer questions there. So come hang out and join the conversation. And by the way, right now I have a free Manage Your Stress Naturally course that you can grab on my website at drjkrausend.com, because so many people are stressed out right now, and really it has to do with the basics, your routines and simple habits that are messing you up. So head on over to drjkrausend.com and go check out my free course on managing stress naturally. All right, folks, have a great day, whatever you're doing.
Subscribe, rate, and share info.